Hi, David. Thank you so much for joining us. We are
Hi,
at the
Jose.
first episode of the first season of this new BetaCast, this new site that we are going. And the first season is about new media. I think you are the perfect guy to work here because
Thank you.
David, you have the fastest growing Iberian social media right now in the market. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. We are indeed.
So we're talking about people, of course, and you, David, being the CEO of Peoople. I want you to explain to our listeners why is Peoople new media?
Well, we consider ourselves new media because basically we have been noticing that the new generations of internet users and the public in general are resorting to new platforms to inform themselves. Okay, so we used to say that there are brands that have really difficult to be known by or to spread their message in certain part of the audience, and this is because the some parts of the audience are not going to the television or not going to the sites that we all know in the internet. So they go to different places, they go to different platforms. And I think that Peoople is one of those platforms. We are, since we are very linked to the influencers and to the sectors which are most based on social media. We have now an audience which is very young, but who is very well connected to us, very retained to us. So they come to us to get information for the purchase decisions that they have to make, to get inspiration or on what kind of contents, for instance, they want to consume during this COVID situation, and they come to us. They come to us to get that information, and this is not something that they do in I don't know, in the television or in the digital newspapers. I don't know. So that's why we think at the end of the day we are new media, because at the end of the day we are helping people in general to be informed, for either for inspiration or for take a decision. But we are a new platform that we never existed, and the people is coming to us because we are offering things that the previous platform are not able to offer. As for instance, you find an information which is validated, which is curated, because you know who is the provider of that information, which is basically someone that you know, someone that you trust, either your friends, your family, your favorite influencer, whoever, and that's absolutely new from our point of view.
And what do you think about this new way of talking about new media that everybody's talking about? So we have apps like Peoople that are identify themselves as new media. We have this new kind of new media, this Netflix. We have the social medias. So let's look behind all that, and let's talk a little bit. How do you see the future of all of these platforms going? What do you see tomorrow being the next big thing coming out?
Well, I don't know which will be the best thing that will appear, because if I will do, I probably will become rich in a matter of a couple of years. But what I'm seeing is that we are noticing movements from the traditional platforms, from the old media, from the traditional media, to try to understand or even try to incorporate to their organizations these new platforms. Okay, for instance, we have just signed an agreement with Planeta, which here in Spain is a big media.
Congratulations, David.
Thank you. We are very happy with this agreement, with this partnership. And these guys they became to be a publisher. They print books basically, and now they are a big media company, international media company. And last year they started to talk to us, and they were so interested in knowing into exploring and getting deeper in this phenomenon of the influencer marketing and everything connected to influencer. We say to them, well, we are not exactly a platform for influencers. We just use the influencers. We offer a service to the influencers to get along better with their audience, to offer their fans better information. But we've got a lot of influencers in our platform. So they did a very rapid movement, and they were very interested in having a little part of our company, just because they wanted to understand this new phenomenon, Jose. And that's something that I think that in the next future will happen more oftenly. These traditional groups don't want to. Well, sometimes they want to innovate by themselves, but the principal thing that I'm realizing that they are doing is to getting along to incorporate new initiatives like ours, which are going with new proposals to this new public that we are having.
So, David, talking about people, talking about Planeta, they joined. And they joined because you have great numbers. You have the best numbers. So
we are.
I want you to talk a little bit about how many users do you have, your retention, your active users, the metrics that you measure, and especially how long it takes to have those metrics and those kind of growth. And I'm not going to ask you about the formula, but I'm going to ask you about the way of your thought process on the middle of all this. Because in the end of the day, you build an app that it's not for the people of your age, with all due respect.
Yeah, of course.
It's much younger people. So I'm really curious about how a father of two children, three, David, have the mental strength of designing and having an idea of developing an app that is for a generation younger than yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
This is mind blowing for me. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, starting from the last, I was very lucky when I started with Peoople, because almost from the very beginning, I had a chance to join to partnership with Gonzalo, which is my partner. Gonzalo is not my age; he's even 20 years younger than myself. So and he's the head of product, and basically we used to say about us that we are like a marriage. We do a very interesting couple, but he's half responsible of everything. So this is not only about myself. This is also because of him. The point was that regardless of the age you have, Jose, you have to understand. You have to think. This expression that is very hip today. You have to think out of the box. Okay, I don't care when I'm thinking about businesses. I don't care what I'm worried about or what my generation is worried about. I always think that my problems, my pains, my interests are beyond what the society has. So I always used to say that you have to think when you are thinking. When I go to the business schools and talk about us, and they always said, don't you think about your pains, think about pains that the people has. This is critical, and that's why we started with Peoople. We are now talking about metrics. We are now in 3.7 million users, registered users, with a retention of half of them. Basically, we are in the region of 1.7 million monthly active users, which is what we really measure. Peoople is an app for as a difference of what the current social platforms used to chase, which is the daily active users, the high engagement. We never had that in our minds. Our idea was we wanted our users to come to us when they are in need of something, when they are in need of inspiration or in need of curated information to take a decision. Okay, so we used to always measure our monthly active users or even our weekly active users. The point was that thanks to the definitely outstanding product that we have right now, we are producing an outstanding amount of daily active users. We are now in an average of 300,000 daily active users, and now during the COVID situation, even we have an outstanding number of what we call engagement, which is how frequent are these users with us. We are now holding more than 1 million daily, what we call DAS, daily user sessions every day. And those sessions are providing us with more than, in the region of 10 million impressions every day, which is massive right now. Okay? But these are the numbers that we have now. I really like your question because we started at the end of 2017. When we had the first version of the product, we started to try growth methodologies, and as everybody, we started doing paid media via Facebook ads and this kind of platforms, and we discovered at that time, Jose, that we even have Claudia, which is our marketing manager, joined at the time, and she was pretty good at taking our CPA, our cost of acquisition, as low as possible. But the point is that we one day we did a group, and we started to think, and we said, hey, this is not the way we want to grow, because the higher we grow, the higher will come our cost for us, because for a very simple reason, we will not be able to make the segmentation in Facebook, for instance, as good as we are doing right now. So we will do it worse, and therefore our acquisition cost will come higher. So we decided to do something again out of the box, and we discovered that the service we were providing was very, very useful for the influencers, because they had a problem with their fans, when their fans were all the time saying to them, hey, we want to go to the restaurant that you talked about last 3 months ago, or hey, where was the shop that you mentioned 3 weeks ago? And so they need a place to storage all that content, a place where you can go anytime when you want and see your favorite influencer recommendations on whatever. Okay. So we started to talk to them about this, and they said, wow, this is just what we need. And we started to grow thanks to the influencers. We started to spread the voice thanks to the influencers, just because of that. So at the beginning of 2018, we were like 20,000 users. And during that year, we did 250,000 users. We grow a lot, 600% during that year. And last year, 2019, we started with those 250,000, and we ended up the year with 1.5 million, which was massive. It was another 700% of growth. And now we started the year with this 1.5, and now we are in 3.6 million. So that's the rhythm of acquisition is really, really outstanding. And the best for us, the best thing is that it is not the retention that we have always required from all these source of registered users has been basically always the same, which is half of our data user base.
So my follow-up question is, like, with huge growth comes huge responsibilities. These huge responsibilities, I mean, about the costs of maintaining an app like that. How do you do, because I believe that every time that we build an app, we build something and the numbers go up, we don't take into consideration, at least in the back of our mind, we don't take the full consideration of the impact that this growth will have in our accounts, in our finances. Can you, like, if you can, speak a little bit further on this topic, because I'm really curious to understand that.
It's really amazing the way our cost distribution changed from being I don't know, 500,000 users platform than to be almost 4 million platform. Well, in the previous situation, we had a very, very low burn rate because we are only 12 guys. We are very, very short people.
You are a small team.
Yeah, very small team. They are very, very amazingly talented guys. 7 girls, by the way, in our team, and no, we had a very low burn rate, and everything was basically under control. The problem came when we are having these big numbers in this big increase in traffic. Everything changed, and also because the big sources of our traffic comes from South America, from Brazil and the Spanish-speaking countries. So we need to rebuild all the architecture of our servers, and we started to make an outstanding amount of calls to our servers and to calls to the APIs we work with. For instance, for Google Maps API, which is basically where we take the information of the restaurants and the geolocated places. So the point was that right now, more than half of our current burn rate is not about the team and the people. It's about paying servers and paying to these APIs. So it's the bad part of this high speed growing that we are suffering, which is we in a matter of months we have to adapt ourselves to this new structure of cost, which is really had a big impact on our organization. But well, that's only the bad part of this little success, and we are now in the middle of a round to well, in part to put a solution to this.
That was going to be my next question. If you're going to go to the investment route or the bootstrap route. No, you just talked about somebody interested, and I believe that there are a lot of investors interested in a social media that's growth 600% per year. So yep. I want to know if you can, of course, if that information is out there, or if you want to share it first here. How is your investment round? And if that is an actual investment round, well, the parts involved, how it came out, the way that you would approach it, are they like Portuguese, Spanish, USA, Brazilian, the profile of the investor? Speak a little bit about the round.
Sure, yeah. We launched at the beginning of this year a seed round. It's a previous round to the Series A round that we will launch at the end of the year. So we started to talk with funds, with VCs all over Europe. Well, we are proud to say that we finally decided to get along with a Portuguese fund, which is called LC Ventures. We really like the way these guys talk to us, the way they appreciate everything that we have built up. And now we are very close to closing. For the closing of this round, we are trying to incorporate the latest co-investors to join us here. And well, it's been quite good despite all this COVID situation, which is not the best, as you can imagine. It's not the best scenario for launching a round. But we've got the numbers in there, and I think we've got a lot of things to do. We've got lots of investors for this Series A round. We have talking already to funds from US and from the Bay Area in US. So it's really a good moment for us because the metrics are being very good. We have demonstrated something which is very important, which is we are a very interesting business where to invest for the post COVID scenario. Because, for instance, we have demonstrated that we are anti-cyclist. We during the coronavirus we have growth even more than we experience a very interesting double effect. First, our users were coming more frequently to us to search for contents to consume during the isolation. what movies, what series, what books to read. And also there was another effect, which was the influencers were all the time serving, helping their fans to spend this time by providing them with new collections on movies, series, museums to visit virtually, lots of things. So I think it's a very nice moment. We are very confident on closing the round pretty soon, and well, we invite anyone that might be listening to us to pay us a call to join us.
So investors out there, you already know, the round is not closing. You have a lead investor, from what I understood. Right. We're talking about millions here, right?
Yeah, 2 million. Yeah.
Okay, and yeah, that's pretty awesome. But now, jumping from people to yourself. Oh. Like I said on the beginning, you are a father of 3 children, and you came from a lawyer to a corporate life to an entrepreneur. And in Beta, it's all about bringing corporation and throughout innovation to startups. And you just talked earlier about the example of Planeta needing a startup like Peoople.
Yeah.
And this cooperation, it's on the base of everything nowadays. They will only grow with this kind of system.
Right.
So, in your experience, tell me the main difference on the top of your head between working on a corporation and working in a startup.
Well, the difference are massive, really. To me, I've been all my life working for big corporations, for industrial corporations, for banking corporations, for legal corporations. So the differences are massive. To me, the most significant difference is in the way we organize ourselves. Everybody who has big or startups who has become big companies said that when you are big, you are still with the startup spirit inside of you, and the organization works basically the same way that when you were little. The point is that is the just in one single sentence, the startups are very agile, very fast in everything. We took decisions on a daily basis that can change completely the path we are taking. We don't do it, but we could do it. But if we decide, hey, we had this idea, why don't we implement this? Hey, these users are talking to us about this feature that they don't like or that they like a lot, or we can. It's just a matter. We have a roadmap, for instance, for product development for the next 6 months. But every quite often, we are modifying this plan to just to adapt what we want to do, where we want the company to go. This is, to me, the best, one of the most significant differences between a corporation. Corporations can't do that. They are very predictable. They've got roadmaps that you basically cannot change, or just can't move a little bit. And that's one of the most important questions. The other, to my view, is the culture. I've been in these corporations, and in the majority of them, despite these big human resources departments, outing activities, perks, extra salarial benefits, they don't really treat well their employees. I insist, it's in the majority, not in all of them, in the majority of them. They don't treat their employees as guys that have problems, that have ideas, that have personal issues. So we try to do this from the very beginning in Peoople. And it's something that I used to see in the startups. There is a better designed way to treat the people, the team, and I never understood why this is not done in the big corporations, because when I was in banking, for instance, I was all the time really surprised about how good these guys were attracting the best talent in town, for their organizations, but how clumsy they were in having these guys motivated and with illusion
Yeah.
and with passion for work.
Yeah.
And
Tell me.
sometimes and sometimes the work is not about the work. Oh no,
Yeah.
because you work in technology and technology is very easy to be to feel passionate about it. It's not. No.
Yeah.
You can be doing banking and it is as interesting and as funny as being in tech if you want.
David, tell me about the moment that you knew that you needed to get out and start your company.
Good question.
Walk us through that process.
Yeah. Well, I had a big opportunity with Peoople, for instance, because I was working in a bank, and I had the idea. We set up an MVP, and we did a beta testing for a couple months. We obtained lots of information about that prototype, about the people who were testing this product, this first version of the product. I don't know if it was a product, it was a prototype, but I had time to think about it, to make a deep, calm thinking on what decision to make, because I had an idea, I had it a little bit implemented, and we had a little bit data about what the people think about that idea. So it was very difficult to take that decision. But in my situation, I had something to who could move me to take that decision in a very concrete way, But I unfortunately nobody, or not everybody has the same data that I had. But also, not everybody has the same situation that I had. I had 3 kids in that town at that moment, and I left the bank and I went to launch a startup. My mom said to me, "You are fucking crazy. You are a irresponsible guy. You are not the father I thought you were." And it's my mom. But I said, "Mom, trust me. I know what I'm doing." Of course, I didn't know what I was doing, but I had these little pieces of information who were saying something to me. And well, at the end of the day, Jose, I think it's something that you have to feel in your bones. If you think it's your moment, and to my view, I thought maybe the moment for me was when I thought, well, if you stay in the bank, you're gonna be a very disgraceful guy for the rest of your life, because you will always think you had that opportunity and you didn't follow it. So maybe I'm gonna fuck it up everything, but I have to take that opportunity, and then I will not have that feeling, despite if it's a failure or a success. I think it's a failure. It's a success. Just itself, just to take that decision is something that I used to say to everybody who is thinking about launching and entrepreneurship. Said the success is not selling your company to Facebook. The success is you have an idea and you go for it and you launch it and you leave everything. That's a success. If then you can make a lot of money or no, that's irrelevant to your life story as a pack.
I completely agree with you, and that's really inspiring to hear. And I hope that a lot of our viewers take the decision to create in these difficult times their own idea if they are. And it's on these times that opportunities came. If you are unemployed and didn't know what to do, just try to come up with something with your friends, build something and release it. And we have guys like David right here that are here to tell the story about going from 1 user to almost 4 million users. Um, on an ecosystem like Spain and Portugal, that usually they are really hard to get numbers. Other social medias usually test on these ecosystems the tools or the new features because they are hard to convince and you release it people
Yeah, that's true.
and that's
We used to say that we launch people in one of the toughest markets in the world, and this is not because we are stupid. It's just because we live here, and that's it. But we really think that we will do very well when we are going abroad. And indeed, when we launched last summer in South America, and we launched this February in Brazil, the numbers are being just amazing. And probably it's because these guys are more easy to convince about. Hey, why don't you try me? And a part of that, we used to say that we deal with trust, and maybe there are cultures in territories in the world where trust has more weight than the value that we've got it in here. So, for instance, the Oriental cultures. Okay, so we think that we will do very well when we are in there. This has been a very good training in here, definitely.
yeah, like when you go to the US, I really want to see the way that you're going to grow because I believe that if your platform will grow as bigger as it went here, but on the US numbers, you will have many dozens of millions of users.
I think so.
Really
I
hope
think so.
that happens. So David,
Thank you.
let's make a step back and talk a little bit about, because you are in a unique position. So I'm going to ask you, how do you see corporates improve their systems, improve their ways of work with startups? How do you see this cooperation between startups and corporates to bring innovation? Right now it's happening more and more, but do you see this as the future?
Yeah, I think that in the big corporations, they are definitely noticing right now that innovation is not something that you could just put in a department, or in charge of a guy saying, hey, you will be in charge of digital transformation, this horrible charge that some guys has. It is something that you have to put inside your company, and the lessons that they have to learn for this has been really tough, really terrible. In every sector, there is one example of one guy who was really top, maybe in the top 5, who really screwed up just because of the lack of technology. Okay, so I used to think about Thomas Cook, this big operator in travels. I had a friend who was working for them like 6-8 years ago, and he said that they didn't have computers in the shops, in the places where they sent faxes, to make the booking of the trips. So in every sector this happened. So now the corporations are I think that they understood this, and they are doing movements in very different directions to take innovation into the pure DNA of the company. So the way, as I said, the way they are doing is very, very genius. There are lots of examples. I really like, for instance, it's not because they are now our partners, but I really like the way Planeta, for instance, is doing this, because they are doing a very mixed. They resorted to a mixed formula. From one side, they are they thought, hey, our employees, our company they know pretty well a lot about our sector. So why don't we launch ideas from the ideas of our own employees, from the people in here? So they launched some kind of platform where you as an employee can propose ideas, and a few of them has been very successful indeed. Okay, and the other thing they do, for instance, as with us, is to be very active in the market with the startups that are somehow interesting for them for whatever reason. Okay, so I think they're doing pretty well because they are incorporating that new way of thinking, that new way of organizing the company into their own company, and the results is being really outstanding because they are changing a lot, and there are businesses in Planeta, for instance, that you never thought about them just a couple of years ago. So I don't really care. My conclusion is that I wouldn't really care the way you choose to incorporate innovation to your DNA as a corporation, but the point is that you have to do it in any way you want, and being in contact with startups and with entrepreneurs definitely will be the best way to do it, because they've got fresh ideas, fresh way to organize themselves, fresh approaches, and to me is the best way, definitely.
And to wrap it up, I'm going to use that to the last question. This is about new media. So let's talk about this relationship between the traditional media, television, radio, newspaper, and this new media, because there was a point when they didn't innovate fast enough, and it opens a margin for creators and influencers to come in. So these influencers come in on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, all of these platforms, because the traditional media didn't move fast enough.
Yeah.
So now they are on a unique situation of, no, older people still watch television, but I don't watch television, and I believe that you don't watch television. We consume most of our news online. How do you see them innovate and still have a huge presence? And you have the example of Planeta going and searching for the cancer. There are a lot of traditional media that don't do it. How do you see this relationship on the future?
Yeah, you said it like to my view, like the way it is, Jose. There are basically two ways. Right now, I'm seeing two ways of face this situation. The guys who are like Planeta very worried, very concerned about the issue of the innovation, not the problem of the innovation, the issue of the innovation, and they are doing things and they are putting money in that, making big efforts, to do it. I cannot be more surprised when I see other organizations, other corporations who are not doing this. I don't mean if they are newspapers or television or radio. They've got real problems to understand how the technology is going to make their lives easier, but not in the short term or in the medium term, in the long term. Okay, and I don't know. It's really amazing. We used to talk to the media houses, to the media corporations quite often, and this is just the way they speak. Well, it's a problem, but not for now. Whoa.
That's the main argument.
Exactly. And you can say,
yeah,
you have to think something, which is I think there is a problem here. Maybe the guys in charge of that, maybe they think, well, maybe this is a problem, but when this problem comes here, I will not be here. Okay.
Yeah.
But you have to think that if you want to go to the public, to the audience that now is in their 18, 19, 20 years old. If you want these guys to be your audience, a matter of 5 to 10 years, you have to do some movement right now. And if they don't know just who you are, or even worse, they have an idea of you as something analogic, you are complete, you are lost. You have nothing to do with them.
So, David, thank you so much for being here. This is our first episode, and I couldn't be happier from you being our first guest. Don't forget, everyone, we're going to have a live stream on the end of the month with David and other 2 guests, and we are going to release the guests on our Instagram page. You go to Beta and you check it out. On the beginning of every week, we'll see the guests that we're going to have. David, thank you so much. And now I'm going to give you like 3 minutes to say what's going on with your life, what's your next steps, what you are looking for, and let's make a prediction of where you are going to be in 1 year, and we're going to get back here on this channel and tell everyone if you succeed on your 2-day objectives. So David, please take the stage.
Big challenge. I think that I have a problem. I'm very optimistic guy, so I think the future is brilliant for us, for people, because we are in a very, very interesting moment. We used to say that we are detecting there is momentum in the market for what we are doing, either for users, for influencers, for the brands. So I think we will do pretty good, and that we will be doing great things in the short future. But I'm very focused on that. But now I just would like to say something, Jose, regarding the future, which is for everybody that can be listening to this, which is regardless if you are worried or not about the technology and people and these startups and all this shit, which is regarding the COVID situation. Everybody's so worried about everything because things are being really, the news we are receiving every day sometimes are really awful. But since one of the advantages of being a 47 years old guy like I am is that this is my 4th crisis. Okay, I've been in the crisis of the 92, crisis of the 2000s, the previous financial crisis 10 years ago, and now this. And this is the first time I live a crisis where everybody is agree that we are in a crisis. Okay, so to me, this is one of the best possible guarantees that we will overcome this situation, that we will be stronger and wiser at the end of it. And I think I'm confident that we will leave it away sooner than we think. So it is something that we will all do together. The people, investors, users, the brands, everybody, even the public government, the administration. So I'm very optimistic, and I think that we will do it, and we will do it sooner than we think. So let's go for it.
And with this optimistic message, we end the first episode. Thank you so much, David.
Thank you.
Accepting our invitation to be here. Thank you.
Anytime you want. Thank you.